Take me past the outer courts, into the high place, pass me by the crowds of people, and the priests who sing your praise. And I hunger and thirst for your righteousness, into your high place. I wanna sing your praise. Take me into the Holy of Holies. Take me in by the blood of the Lamb. Take me into the Holy of Holies. Take the coal, cleanse my lips. Here I am. Take the coal, cleanse my lips, here I am. So I was talking to my sister Gina yesterday on my email. She's in Sydney, Australia, and my mom was telling me you should email her because I sent her a gift and she wanted to say a thank you, but we haven't talked in a while, and I brought her into I took her in to conversations about work and sent her pictures of, what's going on in my life. I don't really hardly ever see her anymore. It's been years. She used to send me videos of Australian bands, and I remember I wasn't really into Australian culture. It's just too different to me, the accents and all that. But I recently started getting into listening to Michael Hutchence more and seeing the different Australian bands, and I remember seeing a picture of this guy, and I was thinking, I want him to fall in love with me, and careful what you wish for, because you have to be ready for love. It's like an emotion like hatred, and it runs course in your veins for a really long time. And I talked to him for several months, and before you know it, I started really feeling those emotions of love. And no matter what happens with a situation, which he is Australian and is different, it's like very like I wasn't into that before. It's a whole different feeling. I opened myself up and I felt love, the feeling is a different feeling from hatred, because hatred is like poison and runs course in the veins. I felt hatred and it could actually eventually kill you. I grew up going to Calvary Chapel with my best friend Corey Jackson. Her name was Corey Ariel Jackson. Funny because I look like a mermaid now, but back then I didn't. We were best friends for several years, and her mom was a drummer at the worship team, and our friendship was very close in our younger years. We were like best friends. She lived near a cemetery, and near the cemetery there was lots of spiritual activity that would go on, and we would see demons that would come out of bushes, and I had this special gift to whatever like I was thinking about seemed to happen. Like I would remember looking at a bush and I was thinking there's something in that bush, and a demon came out of it one time with a hood, and we all ran screaming back to the house. And at our house when she first moved there was a pentagram, and her mom, I remember, had to cover it up and was praying over the house when they moved there. So whoever who lived in the house previously was tampering with the cult. But even back then I had different gifts that were just naturally there. I was very different from my sisters. I already was having senses at Calvary Chapel where I was growing up, and started feeling like lots of just knowing things about people and hating people and picking up a lot of things. And I felt like there's a lot of hypocrisy in the church. I accumulated a bunch of hatred by time. It was like a oven that was just ready to explode at times. I would just have to keep a lot of emotions and feelings to myself. And when she invited me to a party and I met Nathan, that really just infuriated me. And she moved in with her boyfriend at the time, James, and I was just so pissed off because she wasn't there for me ever my problems. But I had to learn that people will fail you. People will fail you, and you can't put your faith and trust really in people. You have to put your faith in God. And I had to learn that, and that was a learning experience. I became so close to Alexis and she was really into a cult, and before you know it, we were like a one unit, like the Gemini twins here, and wherever I went, there was darkness, like even in my bedroom, and it was just not a good feeling. I remember having a dream. We were out in the snow, and I killed Alexis, but I would never really do that. There was blood everywhere. It was violent. It was almost like two men getting at it. But I remember my feelings in my heart, I felt that way at times because she just infuriated me about things, just the things she would say and do, going to parties. She would, at first it was bad, but then it got way worse, and the anger just got so deteriorating into my soul that I had to let it go. In my bedroom, it was just not a safe place to feeling, and I was just creating my own world of darkness, and I believe that the dream represented that I was going to defeat eventually what was being thrown at me, and that's exactly what happened, but it took many years to work on. And I remember, I don't know why I was talking to this one guy, but there was an awful attack in my room. Awful. Just horrible attack. One of the worst, worse than Alexis. And he pulled my hair, and it was up in the air, and it was an invisible person, and I was just on the floor, just sick. Just, I was like, I've had enough. I've been defeated by enough of these people, and a wave of anxiety was on me for several months and tested my faith if I'm going to just leave the planet, hate being a hateful person, or just fill my heart with forgiveness. And I had to forgive, and it took a long testing time. On top of Alexis's, it was another guy who brought on a wave of the 1980s into the room, very old school occult practices. I would go to sleep, and I'd have dreams of video games and like a bunch of cultural things involved with dating black people and strippers and whores and his lifestyle. I could see all of it. I'm like, it was almost like a feeling of like a mystique, sexy, sensual wave of like, it was very mystique, very sexual. You could feel it in the air. And when I went to sleep, I would see video games and like from 1980s, from this time period. My sister Lori, she's in her 40s, and Ariel Parker. Funny because they met at Horizon Christian Fellowship years ago, and her name's Ariel, and my friend Corey's middle name was Ariel, and we parted off. We were close best friends, like how Lori was then with Ariel. Me and Corey had a very close childhood friendship for several years. We were like very tight, spending the night every night together. We were best friends for several years. But I remember my bedroom, which is it's your private place. It's your private space. You want to feel safe there. And when I moved out of there, I never wanted to return because of the memories. And so my grandma moved in there before a vicious attack. She lived there for a short period, but she didn't. I could feel it in there. But after that happened, this beady eyed guy with black hair. Oh no, there should be caution tape over that room. It's just the devil's room. I just want to I want to light a match, throw it in there and just burn it, but it's a concrete room. It's cold. And it wasn't just me that had bad experiences in that room. Me and Gina both did. And she agrees that room, sleep paralysis would go on in that room all the time. And just so sleep paralysis is just an excuse for a spiritual attack. It would go on in there in the bunk, and we had a bunk bed. It was real bad. And when I was really close to Alexis, that I remember there was an angel in the hallway in the bathroom, and it was singing praise, and it relaxed and made me feel like I was going to survive. I remember feeling the presence of God in the bathroom, the light, and it was singing in there, and it was gentle, and I felt like I'm going to survive because the hatred in my veins was killing me. It was just gonna make me just burn up and turn into a fume of fire. And I was just so upset at Alexis and Corey. I just both of them. I was just so angry, but it disappeared and it just went away, and it took years to work on, but it didn't kill me, and I am thankful for it.